Well, if you don't know, my name is Keith, and I've been given the honor and privilege of being the pastor here at Impact Church, and I'm excited, how about you, about a brand new year. I'm ready for 2025. Who's ready for 2025? You ready? Okay. All right. It's going to be good. Make sure you dismiss your kids. By the way, we got some great things, new things happen over there, so make sure they're going. But hey, I want to welcome you to Vision Sunday. It's one of my favorite days of the year that we always start off January with. I'm excited about this because today we're actually going to reveal our new vision for Impact Church moving forward. Our team of leaders, we've actually been working on this for a couple of years now, and we wanted to get it right, and so we took it very serious, as we should have, because see, a vision, I believe, is important to a church. A vision is important to a church. It must stick. It has to stick in people's minds. It must be memorable. It must be visible. It has to be repeated over and over and over. And I started thinking about that. I started thinking about like popular businesses, thinking about like what's their vision, and you know what? Maybe it's more of a slogan. And I started thinking about that. And so I thought it'd be fun if we could maybe start off with a game. Can we start off with a game today? Is that all right? Okay, one person, he's ready. Okay, all right. And so it's really simple. I'm gonna give you the slogan and you just say the answer, okay? A slogan, a vision of a very popular business over time. So this first one, so I guess it's more of a slogan, we'll see. But I saw it on a truck and it said this, it said, warning, contents may cause happiness. Does anybody know what that is? Amazon Prime. All right, good. We got some Amazon shoppers. We know who you are, right? But I love that. I actually saw that. I put it on Facebook not too long ago because I was stuck in traffic and I saw that saying, contents may cause happiness. And I thought about that as a believer. We have the Holy Spirit living inside of us. You know, when people around us, it should cause joy because we love the Lord and they should see that in us and feel that when they're around us. All right. Here, next one though. Ready? All right. Eat more chicken. Chick-fil-A, all right, good. All right, this maybe a little bit harder. I don't know, we'll see how you are. It's not just coffee, it's, no, not Folgers. Starbucks, thank you. You can say it with confidence, whoever said that over here. It's not just coffee, it's Starbucks. That's one of their sayings. All right, here's one. It's been around for a long time, since the 80s. This should be an easy one. Just do it. Nike, all right, now we're good. All right, how about this one? What am I going to do with this front row? Like a good neighbor. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, that was good. Y'all did really good on that singing with me. That was good. All right, now this one's from the 90s. All right, okay, you ready? What's up? Budweiser, thank you, a beer drinker. We're good. Y'all don't remember that? What's up? And they did it over and over and over. Okay, give me. All right, last one, because this game is failing. All right, this one might be a hardest one, but it goes with what I'm talking about today. And their vision, they're saying is, think different. Think different. Who said? I heard it over here. Apple, think different. That's their vision is saying. And I started thinking about these large, billion-dollar companies. They understand the importance of having a vision or having a slogan, something that's catchy. In the Bible, it understands the importance of also having a vision, because here's what Proverbs 29:18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no vision, people perish. In other words, people can get lost when there's not a vision. They can get confused when they don't have any direction. It's not a good place. When there's no goals, that's not a good place to be without a vision. So if the Word of God thinks that having a vision is important, I believe we at Impact Church, we should as well. So I started thinking back in 2013, when I became the pastor here, one of the first changes I wanted to make was we needed a vision. We needed a vision. We had never had a vision in the past. We were just simply known back in the day as First Church of God, Beaumont. That was it. And we just thought people would just love that and just come on in. Right? First Church of God, Beaumont, that's where we were. And at that time, our church was going through a lot of changes and we needed vision. Like we needed direction at that time. And so myself and my wife and Pastor Jamie and his wife Laura, we went and we spent the weekend in Jasper, Texas. It was a fun place in Jasper, Texas. Yeah. And we just had kind of like a leadership retreat. And we came up with a vision. And so here was our vision from the past. And I thought it was good. It was always great. So we'll put it up on the wall for you. And this was what it was. We exist to impact the current culture for Jesus. That was the vision that we came up with. And at that time, it made a lot of sense for our church because during that time, we weren't affecting the current culture. We weren't. We weren't impacting the current culture. None of that was happening. And so we wanted to make that change, and that challenged us to make the change. But now, some 11 years later, we kind of felt like it was time for another change. You know, it's a new time, new era, and so forth, a new vision moving forward. And so this is what we've been working on for the past couple years. This is our new vision moving forward. And here's what it says. It says, we exist to impact our community with the hope of Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's good. That's a lot of work. It sounds so simple, right? But we exist to impact our community with the hope of Jesus Christ. Because think about it right now. Because of people's circumstances, because of their situations, because of the choices they've made in life, or because, just watching the news and seeing what's happening in our world, I feel like, and we feel like, there's a lot of people who just feel hopeless when you look around, and looking at where you're at in your life and feel hopeless. And so we want to be a church that can help bring hope to the hopeless. And so what we want to do, we had to come up with a plan. Well, how do we make this vision happen? Like, how do we do that? And so it's called a pathway, all right? It's like, this is kind of like our slogan I'm about to share with you in a second. And so we have a plan to make it happen. And from here on out, you're going to hear this a lot. It's going to be said every Sunday at church. When we start church, when we end church, it's going to be eventually on our walls. It's going to be on the shirts, on the merch. You're going to see it everywhere from here on out. Because the pathway, we felt like it had to stick. Like I said, it had to be memorable. It had to be catchy. It had to be easy to memorize. And so it's three things that Impact Church is going to be about. It is three things that is going to help us fulfill our vision of bringing hope to our community. And the three things are this. We want you to encounter Jesus, find family, and serve others. That's what we're going to be about here at Moving Forward. We're going to encounter Jesus, we're going to find family, and we're going to serve others. I need you to say it with me, church. You ready? Go. Encounter Jesus, find family, and serve others. That's what we're going to be at this church. And starting next week, and for the remainder of the series, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break those three things down. What does that really mean for us at Impact Church? And we'll start doing that next week. But for today, what I want to do is, see, every year I pray, and I want a specific vision for just 2025. Every year I pray for a specific vision. Sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a phrase. It just depends. And last year, the word was move. That was our vision for 2024, was for God to move. We wanted God to move in this place. We wanted God to move in your life, and we wanted you to move when he called you to move. And I believe, honestly, that we experienced that in 2024. I was thinking about it. I saw new leaders step up and do a great job. I saw that it happen in our small groups over last year. I saw the generosity in your giving and how you've given over the year. I saw that in the remodeling of this church, how everything is done almost and there's no debt. Like, that's amazing, right? I saw that in all of our outreach events that we were a part of last year. I saw that in the powerful testimonies that we heard through some of you last year. I saw that in our Sunday morning experience. I saw that in the growth that we experienced last year. We were averaging like 160 to 170 people, and that was awesome. But I want to be honest with you. I know people say numbers don't matter, but they do matter because people matter. And so the more people, the better, to hear about Jesus. And so I want to see 200 people here every single Sunday. That's my goal, 200 every Sunday. I already put the extra 3 rows of chairs. They're ready to go. 220 seats in here, matter of fact. We can count them. Don't count them. Don't count them. But I also saw God move in people's life. I saw them give their life to Christ. We had 26 people who gave their life to Christ and who were baptized in 2024. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. But you know what? Selfishly, I want to double that. I just want to double that. That's just me. I want to see 50 come alive in 2025. All right, we're just going with 50 come alive. I want more than that, but we're going with 50. And by the way, just throwing it out there, on January 19th, we are going to have another baptism service. And so if you're interested in taking that next step, you're giving your life to Christ, and you want to get baptized, I need you to register at our website. Or maybe you were baptized as a kid, and maybe it was because your mama made you get dunked. I don't know what happened. I don't know your story. But now you want to do it for the right reason. You want to do it because this is what God's put on your heart, and you want to take that next step. And so if that's you, make sure you register or come see me. But I truly believe that God moved in 2024, and he moved in your life. But what about 2025? What's the specific vision for this year? Here it is. Here's our vision for this year. Simply put, I want you to be a difference maker. That's what I want you to do. I want you to be a difference maker. What is a difference maker? Let me give you a definition. It's right here. It says this. A difference maker is a dedicated individual who can make a big impact even with a just small action or few words. Someone who makes a difference in the lives of others. If we as a church body are willing to accept this challenge, this vision of 2025, you know what? We're going to encounter Jesus, we're going to find family, and we're going to serve others. Because here's what I know, and here's the first thing I want you to get this morning. Write this down, number one, or fill it in your notes on the back of your program. It says this: God made you on purpose to make a difference. I believe that God made you on purpose to make a difference. In other words, he created you and I to be difference makers. That's what he did. Impact Kids. I'm so excited about Impact Kids. Erica Wise, if you don't know, she is our new director over our Impact Kids. She has done an amazing job. She is you need to give it up for her. You don't even know what she's doing behind the scenes. Working up here during the week and bringing people in. All these people, thank you for helping her. That room looks absolutely amazing. There's actually things on the wall now, right? But when I walked in there, you know, we want them to have vision as well. Right? There's a vision for them. When I walked in, there's a big sign that says, you were created for a purpose. That's what it says right when you walk in. And like, we didn't even talk to each other. We didn't know what we're talking about today, right? But you were created for a purpose. And right now, as we speak, you know what those little kids are doing? They're dipping their hands in paint, and they're putting their handprints on the wall right now as we speak. Not the wall. Don't worry. It's okay. But I don't care if they put it on the wall. I could care less. But they're putting it on there, and they can be a difference maker. It didn't matter how old you are or young you are. You can be a difference maker. So I'm so excited about that. But I thought about Ephesians 2:10. I love this verse. It says this: for we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. You are his masterpiece. And I know, sometimes we don't feel like his masterpiece, right? We don't feel like it. We got a few cracks, if we're being honest, you know. But some of us, come on. Some of you had a tough 2024. Who had a tough 2024? Raise your hand. Yeah. It's okay to be honest. Yeah. Somebody's like, but you're still struggling from last year. If you're honest, right? You're still struggling. Like, you're still hurting from last year. You're maybe still upset and angry from last year. You're maybe still feeling hopeless from last year. But listen to me, and just don't you know this, like God, man, he doesn't create junk. Y'all know that, right? Like, he don't create junk. God created you, and you are good. So the scripture says you are good. Before you were born, God planned out your purpose in who he wanted you to be, right? Who you want to be. And listen, he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes. And hey, you know what? His plans, and this is always hard for us, but his plans might be different from your plans. His plans might be different because you got a plan, right? But see, there's this verse, and sometimes this verse stings a little bit, but it's Proverbs 16:9, but it says this: we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And some of us, we had our plans. We thought we're going to head this direction, we're going to do it this way, and God says, I don't think so. You're going this way. You're going this way. You think, no, I'm going to go this way. And then God's like, no, you're going to. And it ends up kind of doing like this. And then it's like he got U-turns. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you had a plan, but he's like, nah, that's not the plan. Sorry, bro. Sorry, sis. That's not the plan. Right? And it's hard. He goes, I need you to just trust me. It's hard. You need to trust me. See, God created you. He knows you. You are valuable to him. And he knows what's best for you better than you do. He knows what's best for you. I need you to understand something. The value of something is determined by what someone will pay for it. The value of something is determined by what someone is willing to pay for it. How much is your house worth? It's whatever someone's willing to pay for it. How much is that piece of art worth? It's worth whatever somebody's going to pay for it. How much is my Jeep worth? Obviously not what I'm asking. I've been trying to sell that thing for a year. You know what I'm saying? Obviously somebody has a different number in mind. Okay, I'm just saying, all right? But in all seriousness, like, how much are you worth? Well, according to Jesus Christ, a lot. A lot. Because he was willing to give his life for you. I say you're worth a lot. You're priceless. 1 Peter 1:19 says, he paid for you with the precious lifeblood of Christ, the sinless, spotless Lamb of God. If you ever doubt your worth, here's what I need you to do. Look at the cross. Look at the cross. Think about the cross. Jesus was willing to pay the ultimate price for you. That's how precious you are to him. And all he wants in return is you. All of you. And the question is, have we done that? Have we done that? Are you all in? Not just a dab here. No. Like, are you all in? Right? Have you given him all? Have you said yes to him? And I mean, like, you've had that conversation. I want you in my life, Lord. Have you said, is he Lord of your life? Is he Lord? God, guys, he made you different from everyone else in the world. And he made you on purpose to make a difference in this world, to be a difference maker. The question is, we have to ask ourselves, are we really doing that? Are we doing that? I want to take a moment. I want to address my leaders of this church, okay? And I want to address the future leaders of this church. And listen to me on this. I'm not saying you're not doing this, okay? That's not what I'm saying, okay? So don't be coming at me after service, all right? But I need to hear me out. A leader leads by example. A leader leads by example. You can't be a difference maker, a leader at this church, if you just stay to yourself. Right? If you just stay to yourself, or if you just stick with your little clique. We don't have cliques. Bullcorn. I said bullcorn. I'm going to say that about it more throughout the service. Here's the deal, guys. As a leader, you have to show up. You have to show up. Lead by example. Show up. Right? That means you got to be here on a Sunday. I'm so sorry. Like, you have to be a part of what we do at this church as outreach events, right? You have to serve others. It's part of the vision. You have to serve others. In other words, it's not about you, boo. It's not about you. It's about others. It's about other people, okay? You have to be generous. You have to use the gifts that God has blessed you with, and he has blessed you with those gifts, right? You need to belong to a small group. You need to belong to a small or lead one. And thankfully, I have great leaders who are leading small groups and being a part of small groups. So thank you for doing that. That's amazing. That's where you need to be. And here's one I really want to challenge you for this year, leaders. You need to be looking for at least one person this year that you can mentor. I want to challenge you, leaders. Who is that one person that you can have lunch with, like just one time a month? Like, who's that? And not family. No. Not family. You see them all the time. Like, who's that? You don't want to mentor them anyway, all right? Just be real, all right? But no, seriously, who's that one person that you can mentor this year? We must raise the bar of what a leader looks like in the church. Be the leader that God called you to be and lead by example. No excuses. No excuses. And no excuses for everyone else in here, including myself, on why we can't be a difference maker. I'm too old. I hear that all the time. Listen to me. Let me just put it real. Let me put it real. My dad is 79 years old. 79 years old. And he's right now got a lot on his plate. He's taking care of my mom, who's going down a little bit physically this year. All right. He went back to school at 79. He took online classes at 79, right? And let me just brag on him a little bit. He has 2 interviews, Monday and Tuesday, to be a chaplain full-time position, okay? I'm just saying. So don't give me that age excuse. Like, God doesn't put an age limit on being a difference maker. And listen, that goes to our young folks as well. We ain't leaving you out of this. Like, I'm too young. No, you're not. We're teaching those kids right now that you can make a difference. Right now, we're teaching those kids and those teenagers, like you and young people, you can make a difference. It's up to you. But we got all kinds of excuses. Or, I've just made too many mistakes in my life. I got that past. God can't use that. Bullcorn. There it is again. I got you all day today. All right. How about I'm broken. Or I'm addicted to this, or I'm addicted to that. Whatever it is, I'm hopeless, or man, I'm broke. I'm in debt, or you know what? I'm too busy, or I'm lost right now, or I'm sad, or I'm physically hurting, or I'm emotionally struggling right now. You know what? I'm just an introvert, right? I'm a loner. That's kind of him. And here's the deal. I'm not saying that none of those things aren't happening in your life, because I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. But you can't let those things stop you from being a difference maker. You can't let them stop you, because here's what I know, and here's the next thing I want you to get today. Number 2 is this. People who have been made different can make a difference. And I'm going to break it down. People who have been made different can make a difference. In the Bible, I think the Samaritan woman at the well best illustrates this. It's found in John chapter 4. I'm just going to break it down for you. That's okay this morning. But it's a hot day one day, and Jesus takes this long walk. And he finds himself at a water well in Samaria, as the story goes. And you got to understand the context here is that the Jews did not associate with the Samaritans. They didn't like each other. It's like a Texans fan and a Cowboy fan. They don't get along. You with me, right? And I'm not talking about the Jets. Let's just not even go there. Let's just move on. But all of a sudden, the Samaritan woman shows up in the middle of the day at noontime, right? And she shows up to draw some water. And Jesus begins to speak to her, and he asks her for a drink. Now, you got to understand, this is a really big deal, right? Really big deal. First of all, she's a woman. This time, women are just seen differently. They're below a man, all right? That's just how it was, right? She's also a Samaritan, not a Jew. She's a sinner. She is an outcast, right? She is getting water. No one gets water at 12 o'clock at this time. Nobody, unless you're embarrassed or you're ashamed. And this is her story, right? She's definitely different. She's definitely different. And then Jesus begins to tell her that he's the living water. We sang about that today. It was perfect, by the way. Great song choice. But he's like, if anyone wants to drink the water that I give, he's like, they'll never be thirsty again. And she's like, I need that. Like, I want that. And then this is when Jesus tells her everything she had ever done in her entire life. He's bringing up all her business. All her shady business, all the things she don't want to come to light, all her sins. Jesus said, you had like 5 husbands. 5 husbands. And the one you're living with right now, he ain't even your husband. He's just calling her out, right? And now he's doing it in love. He's doing this in love. He then tells her that, by the way, I'm the Messiah. I'm the Son of God. And this is when the disciples show up in the story, and they can't believe that they're seeing Jesus talking to a Samaritan woman. They can't believe what they're seeing with their eyes. But then there's these 3 verses, man. I just love these 3 verses. This is verses 28 through 30. Listen to this. So here, after the disciples show up, and then here's what happens next. The woman left her water jar beside the well and ran back to the village telling everyone, come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could he possibly be the Messiah? So the people came streaming from the village to see him. Don't miss this. She dropped her bucket after being out in the middle of the day, which meant she knew that she had a scandalous lifestyle. That's what it meant. That's what this is saying, right? This woman at the well was called, though, to tell people about Jesus. She felt like she needed to tell people about Jesus. And she had this unique relationship with him in a way. Yeah, she was different. Yeah, she definitely had a past, definitely had a story, had multiple stories, if we're being honest, right? But it wasn't going to stop her from telling others about Jesus. It wasn't going to stop her from making a difference. In other words, people who have been made different can make a difference, is what she's teaching us. God made you the way you are for a reason. And you're going through what you're going through, whether you like it or not, for a reason. See, everyone in here, I believe, can reach different types of people. Everyone, just like the Samaritan one. I believe we can do that. I'm able to maybe connect with a certain group of people because of who I am, right? I can connect with my personality, and I'm able to connect with some other people that maybe you can't connect with, right? And then there are certain people, you know what, I'll probably never connect with, if I'm being honest. Like, can I use some of you as an example? Even if you say no, I'm still going to use you, and I'm going to ask for forgiveness later, okay? Okay, so I apologize, because this is who I thought of. I don't think he's here today, but like Josh Johnson, is he here today? No. Okay, I love Mr. Josh Johnson. He's very real, very straight up. If you've never met him, you need to meet him. Great individual. But here's a man who's recovering from addiction. Okay, that's his story, right? He's going to reach people that I will never reach because of his story. And by the way, every Friday night at 8 p.m. right here at Impact Church, we offer Impact Recovery. Let me just throw it out there. Every Friday night. If you or someone you know that is dealing with habits or hurts or hangups, like this is the place you need to be at on a Friday night at 8 p.m. so Josh and other people can speak life into you and help you, not shame you, not put you down, but help you and encourage you. They're doing a great job. Another person I thought of, that he'll reach people that I never will. And just, like I said, forgive me later. I think of you, Steve Click Morgan in the back. Pastor Steve Click Morgan in the back. If you don't know, he's pastor of Crossroads Biker Church, okay? And so he's going to reach people that I'm probably never going to reach. Do you see me reaching a biker? Do I need to get some chaps and just wear chaps? No, you know, that ain't me. But for Steve, it works, man, and he's going to reach people that I'm never going to reach. It works for him. I think of Ken Wood over here. He's in the construction business. He's in the building. I don't build things. I'm going to break things, but I don't build things, right? But he's going, with his personality and who he is, he's going to meet people and reach people I'm never going to reach. Right? He's going to be in their houses, remodeling and developing relationships and friendships and conversations. That's who he is. Or how about this? I started thinking about this. This isn't really named, just being a little bit more generic. There are some of you who are covered in cool tattoos. Who in here has cool tattoos? Come on, raise your hand. Yeah, look at y'all. Tattooed church. Love it. I love it. Like, but if you come across somebody else that got some cool tattoos, like, you're going to be able to have a conversation. Obviously, we know that my tattoo's not cool, okay? We've been talking about this for years. Like, if you don't know, in 1996, I got Mighty Mouse right here. Right here. He ain't looking mighty anymore, by the way. The home of the $25 magic dragon tattoo, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to be able to reach people and have conversations that I'm probably never going to have. Now, I do want to offer you something today. I feel like this could be a really good win for some people. I would like to offer you a tattoo. Not just any tattoo. I would like to offer you this new tattoo that I recently got of my face. Look at that. Can you see? Who's that? That's my face. I can offer you. And I started thinking about this. This could be really helpful. Like, I could figure out if you got a tattoo of your pastor's face on your body. That sounds a little weird. But anyway, I feel like this could be a great conversation starter. You know what I'm saying? I have my pastor tattooed on my body. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's some good conversations. Or I thought about it like this. Y'all remember back in the day, WWJD, what would Jesus do? Come on. Like, if I put that WWPKD, what would Pastor Keith do? You know what I'm saying? Like, right underneath that. And like, you're thinking about making a bad choice. You're about to, I probably shouldn't have another drink. You're going to get, don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? This could be helpful for you in fighting temptations and habits and hurts. I'm just saying, if you're interested in being tattooed of my face, come see me after church and we'll see if we can make that happen. This is amazing. Something's wrong with me, I know, but let's go on. On a more serious note, though, let's get back, man. Like some of you, honestly, you've experienced some tough things, man, in this life. Come on now, in this room, I know. You've went through some stuff. You have experienced a loss of a loved one. It's one of the hardest things we go through in this life when we lose people who are close to us, right? You have overcome, some of you, of being depressed. Some of you have overcome the suicidal thoughts that you've had. Some of you have overcome a nasty divorce. or in the process of one, right? Some of you ladies, one of the most painful things that you can go through is to experience is a miscarriage, right? Overcoming something like that. Or even, and I don't know your story, but maybe some have experienced an abortion. I don't know. Or no, you know somebody that's close to you that has. Right? That's a big deal, right? And we're ashamed of that. But man, that story could help another woman. You know what I'm saying? It's a story. It's power in there. Some of you have overcome massive debt. I don't know how, but maybe you did it, right? You had a plan. Some of you have overcome addiction or in the process of overcoming addiction. Some of you have overcome diseases like cancer. Some of you are still fighting this thing called cancer, right? You have been made different, and you have been through different things in your life. So now go make a difference. Be a difference maker with your story, whatever that story may be. Last week, I was listening to this song by Micah Tyler called Different. And if you don't know, Micah Tyler is actually a local boy from Buna, if I'm not mistaken. But I want you to listen to this song. And now, here's one. It's just going to be words on the screen. So if you don't care, maybe just close your eyes. I just want you to just take in the words of this song. If you know the words, you want to sing, go for it, if that floats your boat. But I just want you to take in this video for a minute and just listen to the words of this song by Micah Tyler. But you got to get some context to the song. I think that's always important. Where did these words come from? See, after Micah had finished writing the song, he talked about this. He went through some pretty tough things in his life after the song. He found out that his grandmother had blood cancer. And as hard it was to watch her lose her hair and go through all these chemo treatments all the time, he said her faith remained intact. And not too long after that, a few weeks after that actually, Hurricane Harvey hit. And like many of us, his whole house was flooded, just like us. He went through all that. But then on top of that, he found out that his little brother Daniel had stage 4 colon cancer. Here's a man with a wife, 2 kids. And sadly, his little brother recently lost his battle with cancer just 2 days before Christmas. Just happened. In the midst of all of this, the prayer that Micah kept praying was this. He said, Jesus, can you just change these things, right? Can you just stop the cancer? Can you just stop the storms? But the Lord, he said, chose not to stop those things. Micah then went on to say something very powerful. And man, when I heard those words, like it just stood out to me. And I'm going to put these words on the screen. He said, I'm finding out that sometimes, don't miss this, put it on there. The best question is not, Jesus, can you change these things around me? But rather, God, can you change me so that I can handle the things that you're walking me through? And I can preach. The best question is not, Jesus, can you change these things around me? Because that's what some of us want. We want him to change our circumstance. We want him to change our situation. And he can. But what if he's teaching you something else? God, can you change me so that I can handle the things that you're walking me through? And that's important, that he is walking us through. And that brings me to the final thing that I want to say today is number 3. Simply, we got to do this. God, change me. We got to be willing to say that. God, change me. And I feel like that's what a lot of us, including myself, that we need to say, that we need to pray. And I get that's a very difficult prayer to pray, to change me. Not my circumstance, but I need you to change me. But understand, when he begins to change you, don't miss this, that's going to make all the difference in the world. It's going to make all the difference in the world. For 8 years, I have prayed for the Lord to change Jace. For 8 years, to change Jace, my son who is autistic, to heal him. And that's been the wrong prayer. Instead, I needed to be praying, Lord, change me. Change my attitude, right? Change my thinking so I can handle this better. Because see, this little boy has taught me so much. He has taught me so much. He is loving to everyone. He is sweet. his smile, his laugh, his words when he chooses to say them. Like when he wants something, he talks now, okay? All right, don't let him fool you. He talks now. When he wants up, he's going to say up. When he wants me to get up at 3 a.m, up, right? He won't tickle, tickle, right? He wants me to be King Kong, I'll be King Kong. Whatever you need. Open, and now his new thing is he's tapping me on the shoulder to get my attention. The school taught him that. It's pretty cool. But the other day, it was just me and him. We went to this place in Silsbee called, I think it's Tiny Tiger Playhouse or something like that. And they had this new jumping trampoline in there. And man, he is just having the time of his life in there. He is jumping and he is laughing. He is smiling. He's running. And he was just so happy. He just wanted me to go up there and be with him the whole time. Even though he just wanted me up there with him. And I had this moment where I just kind of paused. And I just started staring at him. I was just watching him. At 9 years old, it hit me. Jace is a difference maker. Jace is a difference maker. God made him the way he is. God made him on purpose to make a difference. He was made differently in order to make a difference. So what in the world is my excuse? Church, what is your excuse? Ephesians 2:10 said, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do good things that he planned for us long ago." Let's be God's masterpiece with cracks and all, and fulfill his purpose for our lives. Let's go do good things in his name. In his name. And instead of praying, change my circumstances, instead pray, change me. Change me in 2025. Change me this year, Lord. Change my heart, Lord. Change my attitude, Lord. Change my thinking, Lord, so I can be a difference maker.